Roblox has tons of great and high quality war games to choose from, and in today's video I'll be showing you guys 5 underrated military games that you need to check out. Whether you're looking for a game based on medieval wars or World War II, these games will have you covered. But before we get into the video, I just want to say that I have made a new group, so if you guys want to join it, it'll be in the first link in the description. Anyways, let's get started with the first game on this list, Shell Shock. Shell Shock is a military game based on World War I and trench warfare combat. Countries involved in the war, such as the USA, the UK, and Germany, are all featured in this game. In Shell Shock, each team takes turns charging and attacking the other team's trenches. The other team needs to try to defend the attack in their trenches to make sure the opposing team can't successfully invade their trench. However, war isn't the only thing you need to worry about in this game. You also need to make sure that you're eating and drinking when you can to make sure your hunger and thirst don't get too low. Shell Shock also features different weapons and close combat weapons that you can use. The main thing that I like about this game though is the attention to detail. There are many different tiny details in this game that make it much more realistic. For example, before you go to battle, there's a scene where you and your group are in the city with everyone clapping and cheering for you before you go. But overall, definitely go check out this game as it's very high quality and deserves way more attention. But if you like medieval wars, this next game is for you. Bleeding Blade is a team-based game based in the medieval times. And unlike the other games on this list, Bleeding Blade is primarily a close combat game. There are a wide variety of classes you can be, such as heavy infantry, light infantry, ranged infantry, and sometimes even horsemen. There are also tons of different battle scenarios and game modes that you can choose from. Most of the time though, the game mode that gets picked is Team Deathmatch. In this game mode, one team is usually the attacking team, while the other team is more of a defensive team. The team with the most kills by the end of the match is the team that wins. Bleeding Blade is also one of the more strategic games on this list, mainly because of the game being mainly close combat. Defensive teams have to come up with strategies to slow down the attackers, while offensive teams have to try to find certain tactics that they can use to win against the other team. Definitely go ahead and give this game a try. Let's go back to the 20th century though, and talk about the next game on this list, Unit 1968. Unit 1968 is a simple teamwork-based war game that takes place in the Vietnam War. The game takes place between two opposing sides, the North Viet Cong and the Americans. The goal of Unit 1968 is for your team to have the most eliminations when the time runs out. Now this game does have some different game modes, but the gameplay experience in each game mode isn't that much different. It also does have some different maps that you can play on, and they all match the theme of the Vietnam War. The game also has different roles you can play as, such as a medic, scout, or engineer. You can also customize and change what weapons you use to see what works best with you. Some weapons do require you to level up your rank or level to get them though. Now the only critique I have on this game is that the builds and UI are a bit outdated, but I can't really talk for two reasons. One, when I'm in Roblox Studio trying to do something, my UI and builds look like trash. Two, the game was made in 2017, and for being made in 2017, the game is pretty high quality. But yeah, I would 100% recommend you guys give this game a try. But if you're looking for a World War II based game, go ahead and check out Operation Overlord. Operation Overlord is a high quality World War II game based on one of the most important events in the war, D-Day. And this game does a pretty good job of resembling it. In this game, there are two sides, the Axis powers and the Allied powers. The Axis powers have a couple of main objectives. In this game, the Axis powers need to defend the beaches and hold certain strategic points without letting them fall to the Allies. They also need to try to limit their own casualties in order to strengthen their defense and their chances of winning. The Allied powers, on the other hand, need to successfully secure the beach while slowly advancing onto the mainland. They also need to capture key points while fending off the defense of the Axis powers. From this description, you can probably tell that this game does a decent job at reflecting the historical events that happened during D-Day. There are also a variety of different roles that you can be in the game, such as a radiosman, soldier, engineer, and etc. You can also change your weapon loadout to see which weapons work best for you. The build quality and UI style, in my opinion, is really modern and realistic, and the sound effects in this game add a nice touch. This game only has an average concurrent player count of like 50 players, so definitely go ahead and check it out. The last game on this list though is Centur. Centur, just like Shell Shock, is based in the times of World War I. However, the countries involved in the wars and the war scenarios in this game are fictional and made up. In this game, you and the opposing country are trying to attack and defeat each other by taking over all of the key capture points on the chosen map. Some of these wars will take place in trenches, while others may take place in the forests and on old cities. You and your team need to use strategy to outmaneuver and possibly flank your opponents. In some maps, you also need to try to navigate terrain and get a strategical advantage. Also, just like a lot of other games on this list, you can choose from different classes to be. Some class options include Grenadier, Medic, Officer, Rifleman, and etc. You can also customize your weapon loadout with a variety of different options and weapons. You can additionally get extra equipment such as wire cutters to help you and your team win. My favorite part about this game though are the sound effects. The sound effects that you hear throughout the match make the game feel more real and authentic. Anyways, if you guys want to check out any of the games on this list, all of the games I've mentioned will be linked in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.